Welcome students. Today we are going to study standard 7th history NCERT syllabus very first chapter dressing changes through 1000 years. Periodization of history. First of all, my dear students, why we should study history? We should study history to learn from the past and to develop our present, because history means the account of the things whichever takes place in the past. So for develop our present, for to go to the apex level, history is very important, because of various ups and downs we can learn from our past and we can develop our present. So here periodization of history. History is divided into three parts: ancient, medieval and modern. In this 7th standard we are going to study medieval period history. History is a vast subject, so that it cannot be divided into it cannot be studied in one go or in one stroke. So that's why history is divided by the historians into three periods: ancient, medieval and modern. And in 7th standard, in standard 7th, we are going to study medieval history. The period from the second half of the 8th century to first half of the 18th century, between this period, whichever incidents takes place in the history, those incidents we are going to study. Those in this standard, that all events were considered as the medieval period events, and medieval period history we are going to study in this module. Here first of all we can see the image of the person Al-Idrisi. Al-Idrisi was Arab cartographer. Cartographer means the person who makes the map, and this Al-Idrisi, the person Arab cartographer, made one map, and that map near about 3 centuries, means 300 years, were followed by the traders, were followed by the geologists, as well as the navigators, as well as Central Asian people. So here Al-Idrisi retrieved the map, such a type of map. Here, my dear students, this is the map of India, but there is a lot of difference, because Al-Idrisi made map, whatever the map he made, the map was upside down, means present in on the world map. If we will see at the bottom of our country, there was a Sri Lanka, but in this map you can see Sri Lanka is upside, means on the top or north part Sri Lanka is there, and below the Sri Lanka our India is there. So such a type of map, means upside down map, was made by Al-Idrisi, and it was mapped followed by all the traders as well as the rulers for their sake of for their convenience purpose near about 300 years. Now the terms used for the Indian subcontinent. Indian subcontinent was referred by various names such as Bharatvarsh, Aryavarta, India, Sapta Sindhu and Hindustan. So how these names derived, or how these names occurred, we will see. First of all, Bharatvarsh. India is also very well known as Bharatvarsh. Bharatvarsh, once upon a time there was in India King Bharata, and his descendants were lived, and after that king named Bharatvarsh, this name was derived. As well as in the Puranas also it mentioned that the land between Himalaya and Indian Ocean was called as Bharatvarsh. Second, the name which was very well-known name was Aryavarta. Aryavarta, this name was given to India because of at the time of Patanjali, this Aryavarta name was given, and Aryavarta in this between the Himalaya and between the Himalaya and Western Vindhya, whatever the land was there, it was called as the land of Aryavarta. Now the next name was we used to refer today our country, that is the India, and India is the name was derived from the Persian people, means Persian people, they were recognized the land which was watered by river Sindhu, means Sindhu river, Indus river, or the near the Indus river, the water which is available or watered the area of Sindhu river was considered as India. Now the Sapta Sindhu India also referred as Sapta Sindhu. Sapta Sindhu means the region of 7 rivers which included in the Zend Avesta, the Parsi regions, Parsi religions, holy book, Zend Avesta, and in that 7 rivers and its account was mentioned. So here after Sapta Sindhu, our country is also got the name. The next is Hindustan. The name derived by the person Minhaj Siraj, and Minhaj Siraj, he was a Persian chronicler. Chronicler means the person who arranges the historical events sequentially as well as who accounts the historical events. So Minhaj Siraj was well known chronicler in the 13th century, and he also used the term, first of all he used the term Hindustan. So these all terms were used for the Indian subcontinent. Next is the features of medieval periods. Now my dear students, as we are studying about medieval history, or we are going to study in the further lessons in this book about the medieval periods. So which features, which important key aspects or key incidents takes place in the medieval periods? So some of the key events I have mentioned here. Foreign culture was influenced in India, such as the Western culture, such as Central Asia, Western such as Europe, European traders, they arrived in our country and made many drastic changes, as well as Central Asia, Central Asian traders also. The next, that is sufficient historical material. Whatever the historical sources are there, among that various and lot of historical material we got from the medieval periods. In the medieval periods, many inscriptions were inscribed, as well as many points, as well as historical monuments were built up. Like North India, if we visit to North India, we can see many monuments, huge monuments, many forts were built up. So these all historical materials got available in the huge quantity in the medieval periods. Next is the rulers of Delhi Sultans and Mughals. They also came outside from the other regions and they settled in our country. So here Delhi Sultans as well as Mughals, they came from the Central Asia and other parts, and they settled in our country. As well as the foreigner. This is the term foreigner. Foreigner means the person for today's. Currently, if we refer foreigner, though the person who is not living or who is non-residential in our country, means who is the citizen of the other nation, is considered as foreigner. But the earlier time, during the medieval period, the person foreigner who was not belongs to our culture, and those who are not a part of certain area or society. Here major historical trends we are going to study in this. So these major historical trends we can divide into 3 parts: social, political and economic. So step by step we will see these trends. Social changes, whatever social changes or social trends takes place during medieval period. So social changes in the society. What type of changes takes place? First of all, in the human category, we will see humans were divided into various caste and subcaste. So caste, subcaste as well as varna system was prevalent in the medieval periods. So as well as they were having their own rules to regulate their societies. Next one, that is the village panchayat. Village panchayat was there. The elder people, they were doing the tax collections and the other administrative work. The women's status in the society was very low. Women's society, they were denied right to education, they were not having any right to education, as well as they were having very less value in the very low status in the family. Also there was parda system was there, sati pratha was there. Now the next major in the society the change was there, that some of the families were become politically strong, such as Rajputs were there, Marathas, Sikhs, Ahirs, these Adivasi tribe, then too it is become very politically strong, as well as Kaithas. These families, some of the families became politically strong. Also, one of the immortal unique feature during the historical trends in the social change, it was a Jati Panchayat, assembly of elders looking the affairs. Assembly of elders means in a particular Jati, elderly people, assemblies were there and they were taking care the matters or affairs in the particular caste they were resolving. So Jati Panchayat was one of the unique change or unique feature. It was prevalent in the medieval period. Now the economic changes. Economic changes in the trade as well as in the technology, as well as some of the technological changes, agricultural changes which take place, those all considered in the economic changes. First of all, here we can see the extension of agriculture by clearing forest land. The land between the Ganga and Yamuna Doab, there were thick forests, and those thick forests were cut down and that land was used for the agriculture purpose. So here, my dear students, especially north part of our country where water availability was there, where plain region or the fertile soil was available, there forest land was used for the agricultural purpose by clearing the forest. Next is that some of the new technologies developed during the medieval periods, and those technologies, among that very well known technology, Persian wheel irrigation and the spinning wheel. So Persian wheel in irrigation purpose, the Persian wheel used, and that cause of that Persian wheel in invention, agricultural production grew up. Then the spinning wheel in weaving purpose, for that cloth weaving process, and firearms in combat. So these new technologies were introduced during the medieval periods. These made the society, these changes made the society into a drastic changes. The paper was introduced for writing. Paper was very cheaply available during this period, and because of that many books were written during this period. New foods and beverages also arrived in the subcontinent in this period. New foods as well as the beverages, drinks, various drinks like tea, coffee, etc. New food like fruits as well as the vegetables were also introduced during this period. Here, due to the availability of paper, various books were available. The new term is here, one of the new term, that is the archives. Archives means the place where manuscripts means handwritten material which is kept, and this is the one of the image of archive. My dear students, remember properly, archives means the place where written documents are kept and preserved. Here political changes, as we have seen social changes as well as economic changes, like that way political changes also takes place during the medieval period, and among these political changes, one of the very important political change, that is the pan-region. Pan-region means the term pan-region and pan-regional empire is applied to an empire which stretches over many regions. Empire, we studied in 6th standard empire, which is which is empire which is stretched over like that so many regions which covered an empire. Pan region, and pan region, it is the term which is very similar, we can use for the empire. So how empire is also is the means you can see the more huge or more bigger than the kingdoms, that is called as the empire. So pan region, if it is like the empire which is stretches over many regions, many kingdoms which are connected with the one central power, that is the pan region. And in the such as example like the Mughal Empire. We are going to study Mughal Empire history in chapter 3rd. So here Mughal Empire, it was one of the huge kingdoms where central power were the hands of Mughal emperors, and various kings were under their central power. So here Pan region, such a type of political change, it was introduced during this medieval period. In South India, southern part of our country, there were the rulers, very brave rulers like Chola's kingdom was Chola kingdom, and the rulers were having influence over the South India, and under their influence many big temples as well as monuments were built up. So here these political changes of the examples. Now Sufism. Sufism, we can see the teachings of Holy Quran was brought India during the 7th century by the migrants. The migrants, those who migrated, those who shifted from Central Asia to India, they introduced Holy Quran teaching to Indian subcontinent. Quran is the most prominent holy book. We know that this is the holy book of Muslim people. And it shows that here idea in the Holy Quran, there is a mention that one God, idea of one God, and one God, that is the Allah, and His love and bounty and mercy for those who believe in Him. So it is mentioned in the Holy Book Quran. Then Islam and the ulama, the learned, the theologians and the jurists were patronized by the many rulers. They were giving the patronization they patronized by the rulers. Means these Islam and the ulama, means the learners, those who are the scholars in the Islam religion. So they were helping by the rulers. Like Hinduism, in the Islam also there were they were divided. Followers of Islam religions were divided into two sects, Shias and the Sunnis. There were bit of differences in the tradition they follow in between the Shias and Sunnis, but both they were considered as the Islam religious followers. The Bhakti movement. During the period of 700 to 750 years of history that we are exploring here, there were significant developments in religious traditions. So religious traditions, whatever changes we are going to see, we are going to study those changes here. I have mentioned here the changes were seen in the people's beliefs, that what the people's belief in the ancient period, the society was very much believed in the deities and all. My dear students, many great changes takes place during this medieval period in Hinduism, that especially we can see many new deities like Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, and the constructions of temples such as Brihadeshwar temple, Jagannath cult by the royalty means the king and the relatives as well as big merchants. They were constructing the temples and growing the dominance of Brahmanas. Brahmanas dominance means the importance of Brahmanas also grew during these periods. Brahmanas and the priests also as comparative to Greek during this medieval periods. For their knowledge of Sanskrit texts, Brahmanas earned great respect in the society. Brahmanas especially, they were learned Vedas, and those Vedas were compiled in the Sanskrit language. So Sanskrit language, this knowledge was especially Brahmanas they were having, and because of that Brahmana they earned a lot of respect in the society. The new rulers were their patrons also. The most significant development of the period was the rise of the idea of bhakti, that the God is not just only in the temple, that God is the if we love towards the humanity, if we show the humanity, if we help to the poor, so this is the bhakti, idea of bhakti, that the God is not in the temple, just God is where the needy person is there, there is the God. So the bhakti movement was also, the bhakti ideas also emerged during this medieval period. Thank you.